Welcome to Survival Horror Ambience, where the night holds chilling secrets and unseen terrors lurk in the shadows. Join us as we unravel spine-tingling tales from the night shift, from haunted hotels to eerie factories. If you enjoy tales that keep you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay tuned for more bone-chilling stories. The Night Shift. Working night shifts at a quiet hotel in Myrtle Beach during the off-season seemed harmless enough, until the darker side of those cold, lonely nights reared its ugly head. The shift from hosting snowbirds to attracting a seedier crowd brought with it a slew of unsettling incidents: meth labs, violent altercations, and the constant undercurrent of danger lurking in the shadows. One fateful night, after enjoying an indie wrestling show with my friend Andrew, the tranquility shattered. As I recounted the evening's excitement and proudly showed off my Terry Funk memorabilia, the innocuous sound of the doorbell heralded a chilling turn of events. Andrew collapsed before my eyes, a victim of sudden violence. I barely had time to react before a savage blow from a steel pipe struck my head, sending me reeling to the ground. The assailants vanished as swiftly as they had appeared, leaving behind a haze of confusion and pain. Bloodied and disoriented, I struggled to summon help, grappling with a malfunctioning phone in the back office. Fear clenched at my chest as I realized the attackers could return at any moment. With trembling hands, I locked the doors and dialed, desperate for assistance amidst the chaos. The arrival of police and paramedics brought a temporary reprieve, but the ordeal was far from over. I was rushed to the hospital, my head wound requiring 10 staples and a haze of morphine to dull the pain. Grateful for the kindness of hospital staff who ensured my safe transport home, I braced myself for the aftermath. Returning to work, haunted by unanswered questions and lingering fear, I found solace in the support of colleagues like Ted and Barbara, who offered both comfort and practical assistance. The weeks that followed were fraught with tension and uncertainty, as detectives pursued leads and I grappled with the trauma of the attack. The assailants remained at large, their motives obscured by the fog of that harrowing night. Despite efforts to identify them from grainy surveillance footage and a lineup of mugshots, justice remained elusive. The detectives' abrasive questioning only added insult to injury, questioning my certainty in identifying the perpetrators. Ultimately, the incident forced a reckoning with the perilous reality of late-night shifts in a volatile environment. With a family to support and a newfound awareness of my vulnerability, I made the difficult decision to leave behind the hotel industry and its nocturnal hazards. In hindsight, the attack wasn't just a random act of violence. It was a stark reminder of the risks lurking beneath the surface of seemingly mundane routines. Myrtle Beach's serene facade had been shattered, leaving scars both physical and emotional, and a resolve to seek safer paths forward. Working night shifts at the sprawling manufacturing facility was typically uneventful, despite its eerie reputation. Nestled amidst dark woods and surrounded by imposing fences, the building exuded a silent foreboding that amplified during the quiet hours of the night. Rumors of haunting incidents circulated among the staff, deterring most from volunteering for night duty. However, until one chilling night around Halloween, none of us had experienced anything out of the ordinary. It was during my lunch break, a chilly evening under the watchful gaze of motion-activated lights, when I stepped outside for a smoke. As I stood near the back door, grappling with the dim light's sporadic activations, I heard an unsettling noise emanating from the fence nearby. Initially attributing it to startled animals, I greeted the darkness with a tentative, "Hello?" The response was unexpected. The fence continued to rattle faintly, its rhythmic jingling unsettling me further. Peering into the shadows, my eyes strained to discern movement, a figure fidgeting with the chain links. My first thought was mischievous teens attempting a prank, but the solitary figure's odd behavior unnerved me. Alerting security via radio, I expected confirmation from the camera feeds. Instead, the response was baffling. They detected no movement by the fence. Perplexed, I reiterated my observation, only to be met with disbelief. Seconds stretched into an eternity as I stood frozen, the eerie quiet shattered by a sudden thrashing of the fence links. Instinct took over. With adrenaline surging, I fumbled to secure the door, frantically radioing for immediate assistance. Help arrived swiftly, but by then the mysterious figure had vanished without a trace. Back in the security office, my account of the incident was met with skepticism and uneasy laughter. Security footage replayed only my solitary figure, with no corroborating evidence of the encounter. Doubts gnawed at me. Had I imagined it all? Was it a trick of the shadows and moonlight? Yet the lingering detail of the door handle moving on its own, captured by both inside and outside cameras, defied rational explanation. It served as a haunting reminder that something inexplicable had occurred that night. Despite the dismissals and attempts to rationalize the experience, a seasoned colleague shared an uncommon admission that the north end of the facility always felt watched, as if unseen eyes bore into him during his shifts. His words echoed my unease, hinting at a shared, unspoken fear among the night crew. Though I remained at the job for several more months, the incident lingered in my mind. I avoided the back door, opting to take breaks in more populated areas. The eerie calm of those nights persisted, punctuated only by the mundane tasks and hushed conversations hinting at untold stories. As the company eventually restructured and eliminated overnight shifts, I departed with unanswered questions. The haunted factory remained a mystery, its secrets buried beneath layers of mundane routine and unspoken fears. I left with a smile and my story untold, pondering if others harbored similar experiences, waiting for the right moment to share their own tales of the haunted factory. I work in a nursing home, and my schedule consists of days, evenings, and nights. It's rough transitioning between days and nights, but everyone that works here has the same shifts, so we just get through them together. The building has about 100 residents with 3 floors. The building is shaped like Annal with a north and south wing, and the nursing station's in the middle. The 3rd floor currently only has a few residents living there due to construction, with one of the wings completely shut down because they're ripping out the walls. Due to only a few residents being on that floor, only one nurse is required to be on duty on that floor. I've worked the night shift alone on that floor many times, and never really experienced anything scary or weird. Sure, it's creepy and dark at night, but that was it. I've never believed in the paranormal at all. I had the mindset that I had to see it to believe it. I'm a huge fan of true crime and scary movies and stories and true crime and paranormal documentaries, however. A few of my coworkers over the years had talked about how the 3rd floor is haunted. They'd hear knocks at night and see weird things. I was always intrigued to hear about it, but we would always just laugh it off. But that night a few weeks ago has really started to change my mind. I was sitting in the nursing station watching movies and playing on my phone. I had just done my rounds and had answered a call bell. I had felt off that night and constantly had that feeling of being watched. I also kept on thinking that I was seeing things out of the corner of my eye. The next part is hard to explain, but I'll try as best I can. As I was sitting there, all of a sudden a shadow dropped from the ceiling and hovered over me. But by the time I realized what I was seeing, it was gone. My heart jumped and I jumped out of my chair. There was no way it would be a shadow from anything, or a car passing by, as the only window looked out into the forest, with nothing but trees for miles. After a few moments, I calmed down and left the nursing station to go check on my residents. Nothing seemed amiss, and none of them were awake, except for the little old lady at the end of the hall watching her TV shows. As I walked back to the nursing station, I swore I saw feet or a shadow moving under the crack of the door leading to the wing that was closed for construction. I opened the door just to make sure it wasn't a wandering resident from another floor, which happens quite often, but there was no one there. I walked back to the nursing station freaked out, still feeling like someone or something was watching me. I settled back into my chair and tried to watch TikTok videos to get my mind off of it. I was sitting with my back to the window, facing the door. After about an hour of watching videos, I glanced at the clock. It was 3:03. I remember being slightly annoyed as my coworker had promised to come up at 2:50 so I could have my break and go out to my car to have a smoke. Unhealthy, I know. I'm trying to quit, but that night I needed one. All of a sudden I hear 3 knocks on the window behind me. I jumped up, looked out the window, and there I was, nothing. Flight mode took over and I just darted down the hall, running into my coworker who was just coming off the elevator. Now bear in mind, I'm on the 3rd floor, which is pretty high up. There was no stairway, tree, or ladder outside that window, so a person couldn't be outside knocking on the window. I immediately asked my coworker if she knocked or heard any knocking, and she said no. She could see how shaken up I was and offered to switch floors for the remainder of the shift. I was very thankful, as being on the 2nd floor means you're with another nurse, so I wouldn't be alone. I went out to my car and had a few smokes and just tried to calm down. I talked to the nurse on 2nd floor and she didn't seem too surprised. She's heard knocking up there and seen and heard things she can't explain. A lot of people have died up there, and after that night I honestly don't know what to believe anymore. I haven't ever felt fear like I did that night, and I've since worked a few night shifts up there and didn't experience anything like that again. Could it be that I was just tired? I don't know, but I won't ever forget how I felt that night. As we conclude another gripping tale from the night shift, remember to like this video if you find yourself captivated by the suspense. Subscribe to Survival Horror Ambience for more tales of the unexplained and haunted. Your support keeps these eerie narratives alive. Until next time, may your nights be peaceful and your dreams untroubled by the shadows that haunt the darkness. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications on our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.